Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be ranking all the live-action Batman movies.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
There's 9 in total and not all of them are good. But that's enough from me, here we go.
Here we go.
At number 9, I have Batman and Robin. This was such an easy movie to put at the bottom of the list. From the very first minute where they zoom in on Batman and Robin's ass and bat nipples, that really set the tone for how shitty and unlikable this movie was going to be. I thought George Clooney was a terrible Batman, and Chris O'Donnell was no better as Robin in this movie. It was so campy and corny, but with none of the charm that Batman 1966 has. Every single person is just phoning it in, and I guess the people who wrote the scripts took the year off because everything Mr. Freeze said made me want to jump off a cliff. The Ice Age did not indeed kill the dinosaurs. Why the hell are all of Mr. Freeze's minions almost like Tusken Raiders from Star Wars? It just doesn't make sense. Then they were stealing the diamond by sliding it like a hockey puck. Who would have thought that both Batman and Robin have skates in their boots just in case they fight an icy villain? I also hate what they did to Bane. Bane is a highly intelligent, criminal mastermind in the comics. His strength is like second fiddle, but not in this. He's just a dumb, muscled up dude who just grunts. And I can't leave you without saying the two dumbest words of this entire movie. Rubber lips. That's what saved him from Poison Ivy. At number 8, I have Batman Forever. Don't get me wrong, this is a better movie than Batman and Robin. One immediate thing that was better was Val Kilmer as Batman rather than George Clooney. George Clooney should never have played Batman. In a movie with the Batman credit card, him being Batman was still the most wild part of the movie. Val Kilmer did a good job in my opinion. He was a good Batman and Bruce Wayne. Unfortunately, Batman movies work or fail based on their villains, and the Riddler and Two-Face were just as campy as Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Bane. I liked them slightly more, but not by much. I thought this one had a less silly plot. They weren't trying to stop the world from stop the world by freezing it. They were just trying to brainwash people, but that's still pretty silly. Not quite as silly, but still pretty silly. I really liked his romance with Dr. Chase. I thought they had good chemistry, but they fell in love so fast. I never get it. This is also the first Batman I've seen that just really wanted to tell people he was Batman. We'll see more of that on this list, unfortunately. This was a silly movie, but a small step up from Batman and Robin. At number 7, I have Batman Returns. Don't let this placing make you think that I don't like this movie. There are just some ones that I like more above it. But I will say this is much better than Batman Forever. As always, Michael Keaton was a fantastic Batman and Bruce Wayne. He really plays the part so well, and as of right now, he's my second favorite Batman. This movie was directed by Tim Burton, and you could definitely see his influence throughout. This was a darker and more dangerous Gotham. There were multiple events that just got attacked randomly. The music was amazing. This is the music I think of when I think of Batman, coming from this and the Batman before. And I know people hate it when Batman kills, but he did it in such silly ways in this movie that I thought it was fine. Like strapping a cartoonish bomb onto a guy, or pushing a clown into a building that the clown was burning. I don't know. I thought the bad guys were great in this movie. Christopher Walken killed it. The Penguin was iconic, and Catwoman really made this movie fun. This is such a fun movie that kind of reminded me of a darker version of Batman 1966. I like this movie way more than I thought I would, and I wish I could justify placing it any higher. At number 6, I have The Dark Knight Rises. This movie, straight from the get-go, is just awesome. It means business, and it shows it immediately. Finally getting a cool Bane in the Batman universe was great. He's not just showing up and being strong and grunting. He's a criminal mastermind like he should be. I also really like the introduction of Selena Kyle into this. Anne Hathaway did a great job playing her. And the fact that Bruce and Batman have both kind of been shut-ins for a while made this more interesting in the movie. His body had slowly broken down after years of fighting crime. He and Selina had great chemistry as well. I like how he would eventually learn who we would learn is Robin later on, enters the fray as well. He's a good cop and an orphan, just like Bruce. This movie had the tough problem of following up The Dark Knight, which made it impossible to succeed pretty much. I love the immediate chaos that Bane brought the second he entered Gotham. He trapped the police and blocked off Gotham from the world. He even turned Batman's own weapons against him. Then they fight and Bruce just gets destroyed. He gets literally broken. Him getting out of the pit was one of the greatest scenes in the entire movie. One of my biggest complaints was how easily Bane is taken down in the end. I wish there was more to that. But this movie was pretty good. The worst of the trilogy, but still pretty good nonetheless. At number 5, I have Batman Begins. This was such a great origin story. I loved how it cut back and forth between child Bruce and adult Bruce. I really loved that it didn't skip ahead until he was Batman. It gave us like a true origin of him trying to kill his parents' murderer, then traveling the world to train. I love all the stuff with the League of Shadows too. Ra's al Ghul was such a great enemy for Batman. And the plot where they were going to destroy Gotham because it had become too evil to save was great. I really think Christian Bale was a great Bruce and Batman. He truly had the playboy thing down. And I love seeing him work with Alfred and Lucius as well. They are great help to Batman. They are what makes Batman Batman. Both Lucius and Alfred were played perfectly. The music in this was very good as well, and Cillian Murphy here as the Scarecrow was just amazing. I love that his first two villains in the trilogy both use fear like he does, but he uses it to fight crime. I truly think that this is one of the best origins out there for superheroes. Not just for Batman, but for Alfred and for Commissioner Gordon. This was truly such an underrated movie and one of the most fantastic superhero origin movies out there. At number 4, I have Batman 1989. This is the movie when I think of like classic Batman. Keaton is a very good Batman, and as of right now, he's, like I said before, my second favorite Batman, right behind Christian Bale. This was such a fun action movie, and it was good from the start. This is one of the only ones of the era that doesn't have like 2 or more villains, and it was better for it. Jack Nicholson was a great Joker. If it weren't for Ledger 20 years later, I bet we'd be talking about him as the best live-action Joker. I still don't know why Batman in these movies is trying so hard to give away his secret identity, especially after one date, but I digress. Batman's true weakness is blondes, because he's always trying to tell them he's Batman. It's also definitely helped that they weren't trying to force a Robin into this yet. That makes it so much easier. I think Batman is at his best on his own, with just like Alfred to talk to. Especially when the Robin they choose isn't a kid. He's like 20 years old, and that's so weird. I wasn't a huge fan of trying to give Joker much of a backstory. I think he's best when he's like a complete mystery. And trying to retcon him into being the killer of Bruce's parents was pretty silly to me as well. Altogether though, this was a great Batman. Probably the best made one up until The Dark Knight came around. At number 3, I have Batman 1966. This is the funniest Batman movie I have ever seen. I like movies above it more, but this was one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had watching a superhero movie. With scenes like the shark repellent and the wild-ass riddles and even the dehydrator, I can't think of a funnier Batman movie. Then there was the scene where they figured out the girl he liked was Catwoman, and he just stared into the camera crying for about a minute. It was really weird and really funny. It was so weird and fun, and I loved it. I also loved how everyone else in the world really rode hard for Batman. No matter what, everyone in the room was always agreeing with him. And Robin, with his "holy shark Batman" lines, kills me every time. Then there's the famous scene where Batman can't get rid of a bomb because there's like nuns and Boy Scouts and a group of ducks so he can't throw it anywhere because he doesn't want to hurt them. Adam West was a delight, and every member of the supporting cast was phenomenal too. I love the silly detail, like the way they got into their costumes sliding down the pole into the Batcave, and Robin not wanting to hear Bruce flirt with Kitka. I love this movie, and though it's not the greatest Batman movie ever made, it might be the most rewatchable one for me. At number 2, I have The Batman. Now for the latest entry into the Batman universe. I thought this movie was fantastic. I love how grungy and dark everything looked. Even Wayne Manor looked gothic and like a vampire might live there. I love the realistic look of all the villains and how everyone was really tied together. I thought that the Riddler was terrifying and unfortunately very realistic in our world today. I love that we got to see the world's greatest detective in action rather than just him beating people up for once. I thought Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman too. I like that we got to see a brand new Batman. Like, he was young and impulsive, like he had just started being Batman. He hated being Bruce Wayne, and he slowly sees the importance of it throughout the film. I like how his parents played a big part in the movie and how parentage altogether did. Everyone in this movie did a phenomenal job. I love how he wasn't going by Batman really at first, and he was unknowingly inspiring the people who were causing all the issues in Gotham. My biggest complaint was that the movie was just a little too long for my taste, but that's only because it was 3 hours long. The amount of villains and characters to keep track of was not a problem because everyone was written out and flushed out completely. And this led to my favorite superhero-related show ever, The Penguin, because Colin Farrell is amazing in this movie. This movie was absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait for the sequel. At number 1, to no one's surprise, I have The Dark Knight. This is definitely the movie on the list that I've seen the most times, and for good reason. This is widely considered the best superhero movie ever made. Not only that, it was directed by my absolute favorite director, Christopher Nolan. And though some directors might phone it in since it's a superhero movie, he did not. He made this movie with the utmost care that he would have made with any of his movies. The music was also phenomenal. Hans Zimmer is one of the greatest, and he showed us all that. This movie is pretty much all action for the entire runtime. There are like 10 heavy action scenes you could probably think of off the top of your head, including the amazing beginning with Joker. That was fantastic. And the story was great. Everything made sense. I thought Dent and Gordon were both perfectly portrayed as well. But I need to talk about the real star of the show. Like I said before, Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, but he was completely outshined by Joker. Heath Ledger was an odd pick to play the Joker. He was always kind of a pretty boy, and many people didn't think he'd do well. But he gave the performance of a lifetime. He gave it all in every scene, in every ad-lib, everything. Unfortunately, he passed away before this movie came out. He gave a generational performance, and he will be remembered for decades to come as giving one of the greatest performances ever. This was a phenomenal movie, and a lot of it had to do with Heath Ledger's great performance. Rest in peace, Heath. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below what you think I should have put differently, and subscribe for more. Have a great day. Bye.